listeners, how do you do? This is my podcast and it's just for you. It's called TED Talks and it's a load of shite, but I hope you enjoy it because I've kept it like it's about an hour long and all about Teesside, the people, the places and the borough pride. It's the final episode of TED Talks. The final episode. That's a better jingle than I've been doing recently, isn't it, Mala?
I'm dead impressed with that, like Ted. It was class. Yeah. Well, I had
to spend a lot of money on professional musicians to do that one, but then I sort of lost the recording, so I just did that bit myself, you know what I mean?
Well, I've heard that you haven't lost that, though. I think NASA's nicked it.
It wouldn't surprise me.
He's doing the fight. He said that, like, the world's going to end, and he uses that in the shop to try and get people to buy, panic buy. It's his new marketing strategy. So he's just like, he plays the final countdown, and then he says, world's going to end soon, you better get, like, all your fags in and that.
It's good. It's a good point now because, like, if the world was to end and you weren't stocked up on your vertimentals, you'd want the world to end, wouldn't you? You know what I mean?
Well, you're right. Not just that, but right. There's no better, is there, than watching an apocalypse while you're having a fag.
I suppose it is quite. I can imagine me sort of sat on one of those old sort of American wooden porches, maybe on a rocking chair, and I'm just watching sort of, nuclear explosions going up, and it's all peaceful and quiet, and I'm just having a cigarette and a can of Skull, and it'd be lovely feeling that, watching everyone just burn to death.
Don't it? I'm going to be on top of Thornaby Bass with me top off, going, come on, take me now, you wanker. Just shouting at the sky.
Oh, man, I can just imagine it now, you know what I mean? Like, everyone, like, driving up the traffic lights on Lanehouse Road giving you a toot. Big class.
You can't think of a better place to watch an apocalypse, though, can you, than on top of Thornaby Bass, man? It'd be mint.
Yeah, on top of Thornaby Bass, or maybe on top of the high-rise flats in Thornaby. Are they still there? I don't know.
But they're going to be knocked down soon, and which is very sad because I've banged many a bird in them, the class.
Yeah, I know. You used to date a lass who lived on the top floor, didn't you? Called, I think she was called Sweaty Merrill. And she was only sweaty because she refused to use the lift and she used to walk up and down them stairs every day.
Well, that's what she was, man. She was like proper getting the steps in and that, wasn't she?
Yeah. She only weighed about 4 stone, Sweaty Merrill, bless her. Anyway, listen, it's the final episode of TED Talks, the TED Hanky podcast. We've come to Series 10, Episode 7, which is episode 97 in totality of the podcast. And it's the last one, unless you are one of the Patreon followers or, like, I know you really well in that, because the next 3 are going to be special bonus episodes to take us to 100, but not everyone will get to listen to them. Only the proper class followers who really support us will get to listen to the next 3.
Well, Ted, right, this isn't a bad idea, this, though, because Friends, they did 10 series, didn't they?
They did, yeah, and I'm hoping that, in about 10 years' time, people will pay me a new fucking fortune to come out of retirement to record another episode.
Well,
because that's what's happened now, hasn't it?
Well, yeah, right, but I just can't see the cast, because it'd be like, there'll be Ted, Mala, Julie, Rona, Scruffy Cheryl, NASA...
Yeah.
Billy Mack, probably.
Billy Mack, yeah. Offshore boys.
The offshore lads, the Tribes of Teesside lads, they'll be in.
Tribes of Teesside. Neil Warlock and Stevie Gibson, if Warlock's still alive, Right. Who else have we had over the years? We've had Puffy Derrick.
He's controversial. Buddha Batman will be there somewhere, won't he?
Buddha Batman will be knocking around, yeah. We might have, obviously, Bobby Del Vecchio, my former manager, who I don't bother with anymore because he's a Doyle. He'll probably make an appearance. A lot of the dead celebrities I used to speak to as well, Roger Moore. Sean Connery.
That was before I didn't like that, Ted. That's why I didn't used to knock about with you when you were speaking to dead people, and that was creepy.
Yeah, I know, yeah. That was before you got heavily involved with the podcast. You dipped in a couple of times.
Well,
But,
yeah, only because like I didn't know what I was doing, so I'd just walk in and you'd be like, "Here, Mella, here, have a drink of that," and you just record me on the sneak.
oh no! Oh, I'm going to miss it. I really am. We've had some wonderful people on the show. We've had some good guests as well. You know, comedians, local comedians, national comedians as well, impressionists. It's been good. I should have really rounded a few of them back up to sort of come on the final episode and have a little chat and that. But I just couldn't be fucking asked, to be honest, mate. You know what I mean? Just want to get it done.
I think that's what like Jennifer Aniston and that are like on Friends as well. They're like, yeah, well, we're just going to crack this one out.
Hey, I hope Aniston brings back the nipple-ons. Oh, you know what I mean? They might be like a little bit lower, but I'll still look at them with my eyes.
Well, she's still mint. I've seen a picture anyway.
No, I'd fucking rattle a rotten me. You know what I mean?
The only one I never used to like was that Lisa Kudrow. You know, the one who was like blonde hair and that.
Phoebe,
I didn't used to like her. I used to think, she does my head in her.
Was it because her pussy smelled?
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was a good joke, that wasn't it?
See what I did there? She did songs about having a smelly cat, didn't she? smelly pussy. Okay. I liked the German with the dyed blonde hair, mate. Was it Gunther?
You are? Who's this? Are you been watching porn, Ted?
No, that might have been the spin-off just called Slags.
Oh, wasn't that Asian lass on EastEnders? Oh, that was Geeta. Sorry,
that was Geeta. Yeah,
she was a fine woman there, like.
She was, yeah, and her husband Sanjay had particularly strong hair. Anyway, we're going off on a tangent here. I'm not talking about EastEnders. We're talking about the show and. Fear not, though, because there's some amazing things coming up to entertain you over the summer. The first one being the European Football Championships, which is, funny enough, a year late. So it's still called Euro 2020, although it's being held in 2021, which totally, it typifies the British, doesn't it?
Well, I don't think it's just us. I think everybody's decided that, Ted.
Oh, have they? I thought we just thought, no, I doubt it. It was meant to be played last year, so we're sticking with 2020. I've spent a fortune on T-shirts.
Well, I'll tell you what it was, right? And I'm telling you now, because some of the lads from down the club, what they told me, Panini run it all, and we're like, we've already done these books. We're not
printing. We've already done the shinies. We've already done the shinies and stuff.
Everybody knows once the shinies are done, that's it. It's set in stone then.
Yeah, just thinking back there, I used to connect loads of Panini stickers, right? And used to always be dead confused when you used to get to the Scottish leagues and they always had, 2-player managers. Hang on a minute, I've got this sticker's got 2 men on it and they're both footballers and managers.
They used to be loads of that going in, didn't they?
Yeah, but the good thing about the Euros coming up is me and you were launching our new video podcast on the Facebook and the PooTube, aren't we? And it's going to be the first episode is going to be on Thursday, the 27th of May, and it's going to be, is it the 27th? Hang on, I get me fucking dates wrong all the time, Mala.
Yeah, hang on. You can't on
it's Thursday the 27th of May, because we're going to launch our new What a Worldie podcast, which is going to be a live show filmed from a pub with me and Mala, basically doing what we do now, but you see us in person and next to each other and talking about the football and then having guests on and musicians and all that type of stuff. It's going to be proper class and I can't wait.
Yeah, well, Ted, I'm telling you now, it's because people say we are book as fuck, don't they? And they want to be seeing us, because they said, we want to see you lads. Do you know what I mean? And then I reckon I'll be doing loads more smashing.
I get a load of, flange followers contacting me going, you sound so sexy and sensual on the podcast. What do you look like in real life? And I say, tune in to What a Worldie podcast on the 27th of May. And you'll see. So I'm expecting loads of flange to be watching, you know what I mean?
Well, I'm not going to be disappointed. I'm going to be able to rub my chest and everything. It's going to be class.
Yeah. Well, we won't talk too much about the Euros now because there's still lots to discuss on the new podcast. But what else is coming over the summer, Mala, apart from your yearly bath?
Well, yeah. And do you know what I mean? And Borough are going to be buying players as well, aren't they? Forget about that.
Or being given them on a free.
Well,
Picking them up at Red Car Booty.
No, you're right. I had to think about this before we talk about the other thing, right? I had to think about this the other day, right? Like, if you're proper cool, you get stuff for free, don't you? Like, if you're a big celebrity, you don't buy your sunglasses. They're giving to you, don't they?
Yeah. Somebody once gave me a car freshener that smelled of chicken parmesan, which was nice.
And you got them socks with willies on, didn't you?
I got the socks with willies on, and then recently I was given some more socks as well from another sock company. Hang on, bear with me while I just grab it, Mallory, and I'll edit this. 2 seconds. I could see them, but I couldn't reach them. From the Sock Sensation. The Sock Sensation, if you follow them on Facebook, the Sock Sensation, he gave me some chicken parmesan socks, fried eggs, and pints of beer socks as well. So they'll be worth a follow, you know what I mean? And you know what little strap line they've got as well, which I love? It says, the Sock Sensation, your soul mate. Spelt soul as in your foot.
Well, not like the fish, because your feet do smell a little bit like fish, don't they?
Yeah. And not like the country that hosted the Olympics years ago.
Oh, not like David's soul.
Yeah, or not like the soul of a banished paedophile. Because that will be really smelling of badness.
Yeah, well, but wait, where were we? Anyway, getting back to Borough Place. Like, if you give stuff, like, if you're cool as fuck, you get stuff for free, right? That just shows the Borough did class, man. We're cool as fuck. We're just getting stuff for free now, aren't we? We've made it to that level where, we've got some money, but we don't even need to spend it because people are just like, well, I as a class have this striker from Luton Town and all that malarkey. That's what happens.
Yeah, have Rudy Gestede back since you let him go because no one else will have him.
No, he's running wild and free now, Rudy. He's class. You released him to wild man, he's class.
Oh, but listen, Raleigh, we've got the Olympics coming up, haven't we?
Well, right.
Do you think we're going to go ahead?
Well, I don't know because, right, I didn't even...
Sorry, I thought you were on the committee. Sorry, mate, I got confused there.
Right, I didn't even know what they were, to be honest with you, so I've had a look, right, and it all seems a bit noncy, this. So I want to go through some of these, Ted, and you can tell me what these are all about, right? Are you ready?
Did you say noncy or nonsense?
Noncy.
All right, okay. I can't wait to hear this then. It's the final episode. They can't ban us, can they? No, right. So some of the events they're going to be doing 3-on-3 basketball. Right, I don't know why is it 3-on-3 and not just normal basketball? I don't know. Is that down the Wreck in Thornaby?
It sounds like it, doesn't it? Is that to give like people a chance and not just America winning that? So is it like the best three?
It could be like pick the best three players, but you can't have any Americans.
They've also got, right, archery, which I quite like because it's just like, you know what I mean, class from olden times and that's what Giving the V's was all about, wasn't it? Which is class because I like stuff to do with swearing.
Just as a point there, right, if I was part of the British archery team, I would stick to my roots and I would take part in each competition dressed as Robin Hood, just so people know.
Well, because Julie could be frying it up, couldn't she?
Would you be Will Scarlett or Little John?
Well, that'd be Will Scarlett. Right, a long time ago, a man told me, don't ever be called Little in your name because it makes people think that you're little downstairs. That's what I heard.
Who was it, Brian Little?
Well, that's slender.
Go on then, what else have we got?
We've got artistic gymnastics, right? Don't know what that's all about.
What the fucking... and we've got a late entry here. It's Rolf Harris. Watch me do the flip jump here, mate.
I told you it was Nancy. That was...
What goes on in artistic gymnastics then? Have they got to do the split hold and charcoal?
Like the picture on this thing that I'm looking at is like a little stick man, and he's doing like a handstand on a pole. But that's artistic gymnastics, right? Then there's double
Hang on,
todger.
Mala. Hang on. It's not one of the special ones, is it? It's not artistic gymnastics, is it?
No.
Just keep running into a wall. No, I'm sorry. It's a bad joke, that, because we should take things very seriously. Certainly the disabilities that are not visible. Carry on.
You little coward, you, Ted. Anyway, there's also artistic swimming, which is double todger swimming. You know, two lads doing a bit of artistic swimming. Me and you do that, don't we, when we go down the baths?
We do, yeah. And going back to artistic swimming, it's very splashy.
Right. Then there's some of the better ones that we all know about. Athletics, which is class. Badminton, which I think's tennis for fannies. Isn't it?
It is, yeah. And athletics as well. Athletics is really good when the lasses wear the little PE knickers and you get to see sort of flaps moving up and down. I like that.
Yeah, no.
Just saying, yeah.
Right, there's another one here, baseball or softball. Again, I think it's just because America want to win everything because no one else plays that sort of stuff.
Well, have we not got a rounders team going?
Well, this is what it must be, mustn't it? Must be rounders. That's what I'd be thinking. Then there's full team basketball, so I don't know why we've got... so in football then, I want to see football and five-a-side because they've got 3-on-3 basketball and basketball.
Well, I want to see score a goal, pick a partner. Got heads and volleys, Olympic gold. I'll be class at that, mate, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, there's your favourite, beach volleyball. All them big tall lads and that.
I mean, the lasses. Do you know what? I remember when I think it was it live TV? They started topless volleyball on and it was lasses still playing volleyball with the bulbies out and that, and then they did topless darts. I think it was on like Challenge TV or something. It was class, when it first came out.
If you go down the Sun Inn, right, and it's kicked off, there's loads of topless darts because the lads are squaring up with each other in Stocknine Street, take his top off, and then he'll just go and finish his game of darts.
Oh no, you're getting it wrong, Marla. It's because the Sun Hill have got an incredibly faulty heating system. It gets really hot inside there, so they encourage the removal of garments when playing darts.
Well, it is a sporting activity.
Yeah.
Right. Hang on. So yeah, we like that one. Then there's stuff like, we know some lads who like stuff like this, don't they? There's BMX freestyling and BMX racing. So, when you used to chat about when you were kids and you were like, hey, you're never going to make out of yourself trying to do bunny hops. Doubt it. It's in the Olympics.
Do you reckon I'd probably get a gold medal for doing a no-hander?
Well, that's like the biggest no-hander. Because I like them lads in Dornaby that have no top on again, right? And they're having a fag at the same time and they're just no-handers forever.
They're doing no-handers and they've still got their hands down the front of the tracky bottoms. That's like a proper skill, that, isn't it? With a tab in the mouth.
That should be on there. Then there's boxing, right, which is fair enough. Then you've got kayak, flat water, kayak, slalom, right? I'm not interested in none of that. Just do it all at once. Then they've got diving, haven't they? With the lads there,
what type?
These, but they're like todgers. So I've heard, but there's nothing wrong with that. We are Teesside, we are proud. I'm just saying. Right, then we've got equestrian, which I don't know what that is. What's that, Ted?
Is that quiz questions?
Yeah, well, equestrian of sport.
A question of sport, yeah.
Is it where is it like race? No, it's something to do with horses.
It's who's got the cleverest horse, and what they do is they ask general knowledge questions to horses, and they have them lined up in teams as well, and a question of sport, yeah.
It is, right, because it actually, you're right, because we won it last year, last Olympics, wasn't it? A question that you asked the horses, Phil
Tufnell.
No, whereabouts is a horse's gaskin? Do you remember that?
It's a tough question, that. Yeah, moving on.
Anyway, then there's fencing, which is class, but like the lads like down the club love that. They just watch it and then they try and smash each other. That's
Are you sure? Hang on a minute. Is that like where they just turn up at your job and do turn up at your house and do a gubby job in the garden, knock up a fucking class fence or some decking?
Then Irish lads when they're cutting around. Oh, need a fence.
Hey, got to do a bit of fencing for you. Do you want some decking? Hey, I'm fucking knock your decking up, crazy paving.
The Mexicans are back to where's that come
from? You want some crazy paving? Would you like the gutters doing?
Right, then there's football, which is class, and I don't mind that because, we have a chance of winning that one.
Are we entering football? Because the last time we entered, we were under Great Britain, weren't we? And we had people playing who would never get in the England team, but they were playing for the Great Britain team, weren't they?
Well, didn't Beckham play though, or was he like the manager or something?
I think he was just like the good-looking flange on the side for the lasses.
Well, what you mean like I used to be when we used to play down Soccer Sensations?
Yeah, with all of the deaf people.
Listen, you say that right. I've been getting phone calls and I keep on answering and no one's there. Like no one's talking. I'm getting worried. I think I'm being shot.
You just hear some banging on the railing. Anyway, so what else?
There's two more, so we'll get through some of these. There's golf, which we know what that is, don't we? Right? And handball, which is something German, I think. Then there's hockey, which I quite like because some of the birds are brutal on that.
And they're already bent over most of the time as well, so you get a good idea of what their what the capabilities are of a good scuttle.
Well, then there's judo and karate, which I think you should just mash in to just have one fight with them. Put boxing in as well, and you can probably get rid of some of them. And just have like a mixed martial art. Get a cage there. Do you know what I mean? Then the would be all right. Right. Then there's a marathon swimming, right, which is I think sort of cool. Like then there's a modern pentathlon, and like the picture here, it's a bloke on a horse running, swimming, and like hitting fencing people. So that looks mental.
All at the same time. Fucking hell.
Then there's some more biking, mountain biking and road cycling. There's rhythmic gymnastics. That's like where you do class dancing.
I mean, we'd be good in that, me and you, wouldn't we? You know what I mean? Like, that little shuffle we used to do onto the dance floor in the Millennium before we got on there. Like, you'd start off near the bar, and you'd have your 2 bottles of Foster's, and then next thing you know, you're... Hey! And then we walk off the other side with 2 bits of flange in our arms. It was like a process.
Well, of course... Yeah, right, Ted, there's some more here, right? So there's that rugby, which I don't like because you know what I mean? It's just for people who couldn't play football, and that's what I've heard.
Yeah, that's not a sport. It's just for fat lads who can't play football,
That's for fat lads, right? Then there's sailing, which I don't know, that's a sport. You sit on a boat and the wind's doing it. Do you know what I mean? How is that a sport? The shooting and skateboarding.
Hang on a minute, go back to sailing. Is this going to be loads of lads in them little fucking uniforms going, oh, hello?
Yeah, well, could it be class? And the skateboarding as well, which...
Fucking skateboarding, that's just for virgins.
Sport climbing... Don't know what that
is. What you doing? I'm doing sport climbing. And what's your choice of sport? Climbing. What's your choice of sport? I'm going to be doing football as I'm climbing.
Yeah, and the surfing, Ted, and the swimming. And then we've got table tennis and normal tennis, which I think you can lump in with like the badminton. Then taekwondo, track cycling, trampolining. Oh, is that on the head? Yeah, is that why they did that big jump 360? So we can all get class at trampolining.
No, that was just so they could fit our Julie in, so she could have a go on the trampoline.
Yeah. Right, then there's triathlon, right, which looks crap. Water polo, which looks even worse. Right, volleyball, which is on again, and then weightlifting, and then the best one, which I want.
What's the best one?
Wrestling.
Oh. Is it going to be like, are they going to add all the theatre to it as well, like where you can come down in little trunks and have your own theme tune and stuff? Or is it going to be like that wrestling where they've got basically a strongman outfit on and they just roll around on the floor?
Well, I'm hoping it's going to be the first one because you know what I mean, it'd be class. Because I'd love to do that. I'd just come down and like batter someone with a chair, be mint.
Mate, I'd be your manager and I'd hide under the ring with a snake I'm just taking everything I know about wrestling here and putting it into one tournament, and then I'd come up and then I'd pretend to be your friend, but then I'd hit you around the back of the head with a chair. Then I'd do an interview and pretend to be the interviewer's friend. Then I'd hit him with a chair, and then I'd die, and then I'd come back from the dead at SummerSlam, and then and then I'd partner with the WWF Intercontinental Champion, so we're both champions and we've both got belts, and then we fight the Nasty Boys, and then I'd just retire and join another wrestling federation where I have to change my name from Hollywood Ted to.
Yeah, that's a class plan, and you did loads of it with chairs, which everybody knows is your special move, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it got a bit. Well, it didn't really work that well when it kicked off at that party before, and I went to hit someone with a lounging deck chair, and it just flapped back and hit me in the face.
Well, listen, learn, isn't it? That's we're always we are Teesside, we are proud, aren't we? And that's what we listen learned. But yeah, that's like the Olympics.
Well, I think we can categorically say I'll be giving the Olympics a swerve apart from the volleyball, because it just sounds utter shite, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Fucking crap. And then you've got like all them shitty presenters who were like, they weren't exactly, perfect athletes. They were, all giving their little spin on it as well. Like Sue Thingy, who hosts Equestrian of Sport, she does Matt. It's because she's shit.
Yeah, well, and do you know what? Right, that happens all the time, though, doesn't it, Ted? Because it happens on other stuff that as well. Because I'm all for diversity and having flange on telly and everything, and like having different coloured lads and that on telly, doing the football. I am, and
you don't even say that, Mala, but yeah.
Well, we are, right? But like Michael Richards is crap. He cannot be telling us how people. He can't be dissecting that game. I'll take it off Alan Shearer and people who were world class, but Michael Richards was crap.
Michael Richards won the Premier League with Man City.
Well, yeah, I think I got a medal that year.
Yeah, but did you go out and play for Fiorentina on loan? He did.
No, but I bought the Cortina. Didn't I? That was really low.
Yeah. I like Michael Richards purely because he's got a really contagious laugh and he winds Roy Keane up. And Roy Keane just seems to get higher and higher every week. And I don't mean like drugs. He'd be like, did you see him the other day when he watched the Man United Liverpool game? And he was like, I mean, what was Fred doing? What was Fred? What's fucking Fred doing? The guy's in, he's a liability, Fred. If Fred was in my midfield,
oh, well, like the Mexicans all over.
Mexican Roy, I like that, yeah.
I loved it, mate. No, but I love Roy Keane. And I don't mind Michael Richards as a person. I'm just saying that, like, sometimes, surely there was a better person to put in there than that. Michael Richards.
I'm going to tell you the story about Michael Richards, right? When I lived in Leeds for many, many years, right, I played for a football team called Horsforth, and we used to play against a really good but really rough team called Chapeltown. And they were funded because Michael Richards is from Leeds and from Chapeltown, and he funds that club, and his dad manages it, and they would pay a load of like semi-pro Yorkshire amateur players to come and play. So it was just like totally unfair. They were all like proper fast and crass and that, you know what I mean? So I just used to kick the fuck out of them all. You know what I mean?
See, even cheating in like daft football.
Well, you got to have him. Yeah, I'd kick one and go, here, pass that on to Micah.
Yeah, but you did that, didn't you? But it wasn't Micah. It was that Mika. Do you know the singer?
Oh, yeah. He was, yeah. He wasn't happy, like, with his little curly hair. Well, we've got the Olympics, we've got the football, we've got our podcast. We've also got live shows opening back up as well, comedy, hopefully, unless like this Indian variant of the COVID just locks us all back down again, and I'll be proper booting off going, why the hell have I had to go and get jabs in my arm and it knacked and I felt dead ill for days and I can't even still go out.
Well, or if your car breaks down then you probably can't go out anyway.
Very true. Yeah. Well, Mala, Is there anything else you want to talk about on our final episode of TED Talks, the TED Hanky podcast? Is there any heartfelt pleas you want to give, or any special announcements?
I'm a little bit scared, Ted.
Why?
I mean, what happens when you turn the button off there? I mean, do we still we're still going to exist, aren't we?
Well, technically, there is a disclaimer that you have to move out of the shed. So you're going to have to go back to living in the converted double wheelie bin.
Well, I know, because that was the only time I was getting proper class, and I had a proper class time living in the shed. And now there's no podcast anymore. There's no need for me to live in the shed anymore, is there?
Not really, no. I mean, well, what about if you still come round and we just have a laugh anyway?
But we don't record it.
No, why should we share that with them?
Well, so, listen, podcasters, I'm going to miss you all because we've had a proper class time, haven't we, Ted?
We've had a lovely time. We really have, and we really appreciate everyone who has supported the show, listened to the show, shared it, commented, invited offshore dials to listen to it, all that type of stuff. People who've bought the merchandise, who've paid for the Patreon, and who've turned up to the live shows and supported everything that I do, and certainly when you're involved, Mala, what you do as well. We're very grateful, aren't we?
Well, and Ted, there's been people during lockdown. It's not been very good for him, has it? And we know, because we've had messages, there's people all over the world that are from Borough, and some of them are even down in Plymouth and stuff like that. So they're proper all over the world, because that's as far as I know.
Well, mate. I get messages from people in Australia, in other countries. At one point, we were the number one podcast in Liberia. I don't know how the fucking hell that happened.
That was NASA money sorted it out for us. But yeah, I think we did helped all these people through, and I think you did, Ted. And it's just when you're stuck across the other side of the world, and you can just turn on your podcaster and you can just listen to two Borough lads having a crack and just talking about Teesside and that. And I think it's helped. And it's helped us, hasn't it, Ted?
It has, it really has. So I think before we go, I'd just like to say thank you very much to everyone. Please do keep following us, because we will be back with new stuff once this podcast finished. Like I say, we've got What a Worldie live video podcast, which is going to become a downloadable podcast for your ears as well. So we're not technically leaving you, we're just rebranding, and we won't be doing 100 episodes, you know what I mean? And then we've got the live shows, and we've also got, you've got Shoecake Comedy, who sponsor them, got some great live shows. You've got the Last Stop to Edinburgh Comedy Festival coming up in Stockton and Leeds, some great live shows for that as well. And we've also got, what else have we got, Mala? There's other things, isn't there?
Yeah, I'll probably do.
Oh, the Hanky Panky Comedy Club as well, live shows in Beer and Beer in Middlesbrough as well. So come to those, they're all on the Facebook page. I think it'd be appropriate for us to say our farewells now, Mala, and then play this little video of lots of famous characters from the show all giving us their well wishes. What do you think?
Ted, anyway, I've got to go. Do you know what I mean?
Are you sure? Do you not want to stay? Do you not want to stay for the last one, Mala? Break the chain?
Well, yeah, I would, but, it's open. Pubs are open tomorrow properly, aren't they? So I'm going to get in the queue for the Market Tavern, because I reckon that's where everyone's going to go.
Very true. All right then, Mala. Well, cheers, mate. I'll speak to you later on, and we'll catch up properly then.
Bye, podcasters. See you later, Ted.
See you later, Mala. Oh, Mala there, leaving the final TED Talks episode on a BMX in his best trackie, off down the club to drink lots of booze. That's class, isn't it? So, as I said earlier, thank you very much for following us. Up the Borough and Believe. And here is a final few words from some familiar characters from all of the episodes you've listened to previously. We love you. Goodbye. Flange. Oh, this is Billy Mack, and I just want to say, now, vote for me in the elections in Redcar, because if you don't, Ted and Mala, I'll be giving you the bat. You know what I mean? Good luck in that. are the Offshore Elders. Thank you for listening to the podcast.
We were the Elders of Offshore.
Yeah.
Now go, Teesside, and get your tickets.
Get your tickets.
You too can have a Breitling.
Bridlings.
All right, it's me, Brother Batman. When I'm not out fighting crime, I listen to this podcast and like with Ted and Mallow and that. I'm probably going to miss it, but I'll still be keeping an eye on Ted through his bedroom window and that, in case there's any crime going down, or if he's just going down on Julie.
Right, lads, listen, it's been a pleasure being part of the podcast and letting us do our Rockcliffe Files on show. We've had a lovely time, haven't we, Stevie?
Yeah, it's been cracking time. As you're well aware, I have had many brasses over at random times, which has been helped by the podcast because they think they're going to be famous. So I'm getting even more. Cracking. Good work, that, Ted.
Very true, Anything you want to say, Coulson, before we go? Thanks a lot, Ted and Mal. Fucking hell, Coulson. Shut up.
Do you know what I mean, Ted? Yeah, it's all about Orange Pip, this, isn't it? Now we're all getting back out and that, do you know what I mean? I feel free, free to do what I want.
I'm gonna fucking... Here, get off here now, London Tingley. I'm gonna batter you, you little doyle, I swear down. Me, Norman, Knackanut, and I just want to say how class this podcast was, but I was disappointed you let that little fucking fairy on.
Hey, there's no need.
Yeah. This is Nasta from Nasta's Spice World. Check it out, Westbury Street, Thornaby. Yeah, listen, Ted, Mala, you guys, you've been my main customers for a long time now, buying up the cigarettes and the Cocoa Pops. So make sure you're still dropping, because I've got some mint offers going down on the old Whispers. Yeah.
All right, Ted and Mallow, listen, thank you very much for letting us be part of the podcast. Me and Buddy, we've had a good time, haven't we, doing the shows and that?
Well, you know what I mean, me and the boy, he's now my son, you know what I mean?
Hey, me dad.
We've been through everything, you know what I mean? But we are going back offshore now, do you know?
He's been through me mum.
Well, we've been through a lot of mums on this show, haven't we?
We have.
Do you know what I mean?
We're gonna say.
Wouldn't want one of your Thornaby dinners, you know what I mean, Ted Hanky? Wouldn't want one of them here. How many Breitlands do you have, do you know what I mean? 3 on 3 off, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 3 on 4 off, man, you know what I mean? We're going to go and book loads of lasses now. See you later, lads. Well.
I proper love you all, you know what I mean? Cheers, matters.